Welcome back, folks. I am John Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. We bring you unusual activity that our heat seeker algorithm has ferreted out from the hundreds of thousands of possible trades. It has found where the largest amount of calls being bought on the offer or puts being bought on the offer. The reason that we care about that purchase rather than the sale of those options is that people sell options for a whole host of reasons, but they're not getting a leveraged return when they do that. If I, for instance, own a whole bunch of Apple and I sell calls, which I regularly do, then I am collecting a premium every time I sell those calls. And if the stock stays below that strike price, I keep that premium. And I can make some nice money doing that. However, if I think I know something about the direction that Apple's about to take, if I thought it was about to zoom to the upside, I would buy call options. I wouldn't sell puts. Why is that? Because I get a leveraged return. If I'm right, those options go from $2 to $4 or from $5 to $10. And I can never do that by selling those puts. I can make money selling puts on a bullish move in the stock because the puts, the right to sell the stock at a lower price, become worthless if indeed the stock rallies to the upside. But I only get to keep what I sold those put options for. So that's why we track unusual option activity. And again, if they are buying puts, that means they're betting on the downside. I've got examples of that. If they're buying calls, they're betting on the upside. So let's get started with today's 3 at 3, beginning with letting you guys know that Rebel's Edge is a show that my brother Pete and I do every Monday Tuesday and Thursday. Now, it may be going to every day, and it may move to noon Eastern time. We shall see. But the tens of thousands of you that have registered, free registration over at YouTube for the program, if you just go to YouTube and you search Market Rebellion and you click subscribe, you're going to be one of the folks who gets it for free every day. You can even click notifications and it will remind you that any of our videos have just posted. So if you'd like to follow those trades instead of just the macro, be sure to go over to YouTube, or you can watch it live as well on marketrebellion.com. Now let's hit today's 3 at 3, beginning with the TLT. Well, TLT is the treasury notes, and there's bullish call buying in those treasury notes. 101.74, they're buying the 108 calls. Are we going to get there by October? Just basically little over 3 weeks into the future. Somebody bet by buying 23,000 calls that maybe we will. Again, these calls were not sold on the bid. They were bought on the offer. So somebody betting that we see a pop in the TLT, which probably means a little push to the downside potentially for interest rates, which many of us would welcome. And certainly the tech stocks would welcome. Tech stocks outperforming all day today. And perhaps this is one of the reasons. After the close today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, I will be joining AJ Monty, our chartist extraordinaire, for analyzing the Fed fallout. You can register. It's a free webinar, but you have to register. What's a convincing argument for why you should register? Because even if you can't make it live, we will send you a copy of the entire webinar for free. You don't pay a thing. You don't register a credit card, none of that. You just go to marketrebellion.com, and right there on the splash page, you'll see how you can register for this free webinar that's going to be going on a little under an hour from right now at 4 p.m. Eastern time, analyzing the Fed fallout. Be sure to register now. All right. Second of our trades today is the GLD. So a gold ETF, because this is gold itself, not the miners. That would be GDX. So this is gold ETF, trading at 151.90 or thereabouts. They're buying the November 158 calls, and they bought 12,000 of those calls. So every option is for 100 shares of stock. So if somebody buys 12,000 of an option, that means that's 1.2 million share equivalent that they control by buying that option. I want to follow those people in that kind of trade. So that's exactly what I did. GLD, 12,000 of those Nov 158s. The difference, folks, for me is that I didn't buy those 158 calls. I bought the 152 calls, and I will spend approximately the same amount of money that they spent on buying the 158s, because what I'll do is I'll buy the 152s and I will sell the next higher strike that gives me about the same investment amount as the person that purchased those 158 calls. And thereby, I've got the same dollar amount invested, but I'm much closer to the money, so I get paid faster. And if it explodes to the upside, yeah, then you would wish you bought the 158s, because you'll get rewarded in a bigger way. But I will still make money from 152 up to the strike price that I have sold. For instance, if I own the 152s and I've sold the 155s, that $3 spread, I will profit with 155 or higher for the GLD between now and November. So that's one of the ways that I move the odds into my favor. Third and final of today's 3 at 3 is the FXI. So this is the big index for China. Now, many of you saw, as I did, that there were rumors that Xi Jinping was being held in a lockdown in China and that the military was going to do a coup. Well, is this one of the reasons that somebody bought 8 million share equivalent? Because 80,000 options, again, drop 2 zeros on the end of that, is 8 million share equivalent. 8 million times $26. That's a big trade, folks. Yeah, it's not 240 mil, but it's a big trade because a million shares times 26 would be a $26 million trade. Now multiply that out times 8. Yeah, you get the idea. That is a very big trade. Betting on the upside by November, a dollar, call it a dollar, 58 out of the money, above the market, where the market is trading right now. Very big trade. That's why I followed it. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. If you'd care to follow me and my brother Pete, our Twitter handles are right there on the screen for you. I am at John Najarian and Pete is at Pete Najarian. We encourage you to follow us as well as Market Rebellion. And I will look forward to being with those of you who join us on the show at 4 p.m. Eastern time today at the market close. And remember, if you can't make it, if you're going to be at work during that time and you say, darn, I wish I could be there. Well, guess what? It's going to be recorded and it'll get emailed out to you, but only if you're registered for it. So please register now at marketrebellion.com. You can register for tonight's webinar, which goes off at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be there. I hope we see you there too. Thank you.